Shalom.
Okay, shalom. Shalom, Gidon.
We made it. Long time no see.
It's been a while. It's been a while. Appreciate you giving me the chance to rearrange my schedule to get back on here. I've missed talking to you.
All is okay, and I did this by choice. In Hebrew, that works better. Today's election day in Israel.
Oh, I guess
Well,
like, local?
exactly, local
Yeah.
elections. And I was the first person to cast my vote in my community.
All right.
Big deal. Like they gave me a little medal.
Yeah.
No, they didn't.
We just get stickers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the medal.
But all in all, we're doing okay over here. It's not in our community. The elections are not very yitzri, as we say. Doesn't awaken a lot of issues in people.
Mm-hmm.
We have two guys that are similar, that are both trying to do good for the whole community, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not like one is ultra left and one is ultra right. They're both pretty much centrist, so we're doing okay.
Oh, that's good. It's nice to have a pleasant election and a just done the right way. It's supposed to be peaceful change of power.
Yes, I served as the delegate of our community on our regional council. But that is coming to a close. I decided not to run again.
Okay.
So first of all, I the whole time I felt nobody really cares about this too much. And second of all, this other guy in my community really wanted to do that. I said, okay, so you go ahead and do it. Fine, enjoy.
I was just, I don't think we've talked since I visited Israel and saw you and had dinner with you and my buddy Yitzhak.
Oh, wow, that's been a while ago.
Yeah, so that was already December, and just for your viewers to know that when you visit Israel, I've always gone there on a spiritual pilgrimage to really feel the soul of Eretz Israel and the people. And this time I went and I got to drive around everywhere because a friend rented a car with me and we drove around everywhere. You also really appreciate it's in a democracy in a sea of tyranny. I mean, you really appreciate that there's a democracy called Israel surrounded by 7th century governments. I mean, you really at this time I really appreciated it, and I really saw that the Jews have built a thriving democracy in the middle of the Middle East. And I don't know why it really hit me this visit. I don't know why, but it did.
I don't know either. Why did I mean? It's not like you saw any of those seventh century tyranny, did
I
you?
got pretty
Like,
close. I did. I got close. I went a little bit too far north. I went to Jish and got a little too close to Hezbollah. Yeah, I did get a little too close. Um,
okay.
yeah, we got fired on, but
Oh my
we're fine.
goodness.
Yeah, but we're fine. But I did feel that. I mean, and through conversations with people, with Aramaic Christians like our friend Shadi, and people who said, "Look, we love Israel. We love the democracy of Israel. We love being part of Israel, and we don't want to be part of the 7th century." And it's just the Israeli people, and I mean all Israeli people who love the state of Israel. It's just amazing to be in this fight for freedom.
I Let's put it this way. I don't know if everybody would say I love Israel, but everybody has the freedom to also say I don't love Israel.
I guess that's what I mean. I mean, everyone knows it's not perfect, and everyone knows it's a work in progress, but it's the best thing we got going, and there's no better alternative. And it's a beacon of hope for the whole Middle East that someday, I don't know, someday the grandkids of the people surrounding Israel will say, "Oh my gosh, what the heck? What in God's name were they thinking?" And so, anyways, not to get into too much on that topic, but I was so impressed by the resilience of the people of Israel, of Am Yisrael, of all the people of Israel, the resilience and the courage. I've just never been. I mean, I'm 47. I've never been in a war theater before. I've never been in a war zone. I never even thought I would be even close to it. And to see people saying we got to get through this. And my first chakras in Israel when I came was Menachem Avel, was to comfort the family of a fallen soldier. That was my first chakras there. So you're talking about somebody who grew up in the 80s and 90s in America, coming to Israel. My first chakras is to comfort. He was a father of 6. He was a beautiful person. We sat and I learned so much about him, and I couldn't believe, and I could believe the same time, he gave his life for all of us to live in freedom. And I'm still trying to process it.
That is something that Americans, very difficult for them to fathom. They don't consider fighting for liberty, fighting for their way of life, fighting for freedom. Democracy doesn't okay, maybe okay, it's good that we have an army, but that's for other people to do. They don't no nobody really here in Israel, everybody is a soldier. And if you're not a soldier, then you're 1 degree away
Yeah,
from somebody who
exactly.
is.
Totally different world. And America sometimes fails by its success because so successful is democracy and a thriving capitalist economy, and we have a professional army, and we're totally detached from reality. And it sinks. It's just one of those things about humans. It sinks you
I I
in a way.
think I think that is another reason why the concept of let's just have a ceasefire already is so attractive because nobody likes war, nobody likes a fight. So if there's any way that we can stop the fighting, that is what needs to be done. But nobody realized. Everybody thinks that there was a song. I hope the Russians love their children too, or something like that. In other words, everybody on the other side is the same as us, and it's very you just can't accept that the people that Hezbollah and Hamas on the other side, they are animals and monsters that you can't just say, okay, let's just stop fighting and everything will be okay and we'll all get back to the way it was because the way it was totally unacceptable, of course, as well.
Absolutely. So this is the fallacy of the West is that everybody in the West thinks. Now, I truly believe at everyone's heart, people are equal and created equally, but people are educated in jihadi culture, and that means that they are not like us in terms of mindset. They are not like us in terms of mindset. When they get a ceasefire, they think, oh, it's a reload time. So everyone, any pro-Palestinian person out there protesting for ceasefire, you're protesting, if I translate it correctly, for reload. And that's what we hear as Jews, and that's what we know that they're doing. They're going for reload. And you're going to condemn 200 or so hostages to a life of torture, and you're going to let them try and capture another 200. So Israel says no. Anybody who has a rational mind says no. Now, you may be too far away from it. These pro-Palestinian people may be too far away from the scene to really comprehend it, but you need to do more research. Whoever's listening, do more research.
Thank you very much, Jason. That idea of ceasefire really means reload is something that I'd never heard before. And I follow a lot of social media and stuff like that, but that is a very strong idea. Thank you very much for
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that we as Jews need to communicate clearer to people who are taking sides what is actually going on the ground because people hear Israel or this or that and they really honestly just want to join a group. They want to be part of the justice group or the peace group but Hamas has been working on this strategy for 16 years. They know you're going to do that. So they've set up all their media and on all of the Palestinian people to be fodder for that game. So people need to look past the game and understand that jihadis look for reload. Anytime you say peace to a jihadi, it means it gives them more time to do the next attack. It's a
All
reality.
right. Well, we we hope that things will be good. We are, in fact, that's another thing that I want to say, that Israeli democracy, again, Americans haven't seen a war, so they figure nobody really likes war.
No.
And Americans also have a very robust tradition of democracy. It's a very old democracy. But Israel was founded by people who came together and had lived in places where there was no democracy.
Right.
Israel was founded with about 600,000 Jews, virtually all of whom either lived in Israel before the late 1800s, in which case they lived in the Ottoman Empire, not a bastion of democracy by any by any length, or they moved mostly from Eastern Europe, from Tsarist Russia, if I'm not mistaken,
Right. That's right.
and the USSR. The USSR was founded in 1917 or something like that. Something like that.
1917, 18 Bolshevik Revolution.
Yeah. And the rest of Eastern Europe. Very few Western France. There were very few Olim from France.
Right.
Then in the first decade or first few years of Israel's um, existence, we had a great influx of immigration coming from Muslim countries like
Mm-hmm.
Yemen and Morocco, stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
Syria, and no democracy there, and more from Eastern Europe, from Holocaust survivors. So really, I mean, today you have Western Europe, United States, a little bit of maybe South America or something like that. Go to the UN, and if I'm not mistaken, you only have like about 30 out of 180. I just made up those numbers, but I think they're more or less right. Countries there that are actually democracies.
Correct.
So where does Israel's robust tradition of democracy really come from? And I'll tell you something even crazier. 20% of Israel's population, as you know, of course, are Arabs, Muslim Arabs. I don't think there's any, with all, and everybody says, oh, the Muslim infiltration and Muslims are immigrating to Europe. And all. I checked this recently, not today. I don't think that there is a democracy in the world that has a 20% population of Muslims in it. Where United States has like about 2%. Maybe France, because they had a lot of people from Morocco, but I'd like to check that also. So
Yeah, I don't know what the numbers are. I know that they're just having mass immigration debate in England, but I don't know what the percentages are.
I think that with all that mass immigration, you don't get to 5%.
Okay.
And here we have 20%, and we're a democracy, and we're proud of it, and
Yeah.
we try our best to uphold
Yeah.
it.
So
It's really,
that's what
really
I'm saying. That's my original remarks is you have all these people from around the world in the terms of the Jewish world. You have all kinds of Arab Christians, Arab Muslims. I met with Bedouins who love the state of Israel. And again, if I say love the state of Israel, I mean they're committed to it, and and they know the imperfections. But it is astounding that the type of rhetoric that is used around the world that is so not true. There's no apartheid. There's no genocide, and it's reprehensible that people it leaves people's mouths, and I really hope they do teshuva for what they've said about the state of Israel.
if it were only the state of Israel, but some of the positions that people on social media are taking, I don't know, horrific, but let's call them antisocial.
Yeah, anti-social media. Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Antisocial
I think there
media.
needs to be an education revolution. There needs to be sort of a second enlightenment because Western values are really getting pushed around by the values that came before it. And there needs to be a restatement, a complete restatement of Western revolution in terms of liberal democracy and trial by jury and representative democracy. It needs to be all restated and reappraised and re-strengthened. So I do want to tell your viewers that I did have a great trip and we're going to have a documentary
Whoa,
of
whoa,
it.
before you get that, yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
don't want to just keep that standing there.
Oh
Did
sure.
what you just said now, did you have you thought about that before? It rolled off your tongue very, very
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah.
Did you write maybe an editorial, an op-ed somewhere that you
Good
should write
idea.
that up as an article?
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I'm going to be part of a group called the Pro Human Foundation, and they are some intellectual heavyweights that I believe are going to be writing about this. I'll encourage them to, and I hope that that's why I'm asked to be involved. But there are some really amazing thinkers out there. But I've gathered this from some people, but I don't know if I hear it enough. We need a second revolution of Western thinking because when I was growing up, it was very cool in the 90s for people to be anti-Western and
Right.
anti-American. Yeah, and it's so, I mean, as you get older, you're like, this is so foolish. All these people are only art critics. They can't build their own society. All they can do is latch onto one that's successful and criticize it and get paid to be the counterculture critic. And there's no similarity between art and art critic. You know, the one person's doing it and one person's looking from the sidelines and throwing stones. And
Well,
um, and that's what we have going on today.
I'm throwing you a gauntlet to look it up on. I think that again, you might be familiar with other platforms, but it sounds like what you're saying over here could be a good op-ed or blog. They called it on Times of Israel.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's a great
How about
idea.
you?
That's a great idea. Yes, I'm aware of the blog at Times of Israel. I put a couple posts on there for universal language, but I think I need to be more specific now for what's exactly happening.
Very
Great
good.
idea.
Wow.
Thank you.
All right. So now you were saying before I
Oh,
re-interrupted
yeah.
you.
Please, thank you for interrupting. That was important to give commentary on that, and that was a great idea, by the way. And just briefly, that I went to Israel and I brought the music project there, the Universal Language Room, and we had a very successful, very uplifting, even given the situation, very uplifting experiences with Muslims, Aramaic Christians, Bedouins. I took the Universal Language. We bought instruments at Mali Adumim from a company called Clichere, and took these xylophones and drums all over the place with a film team. So I think we're gonna have a really
Wait
fun.
a second. There's a
Yeah,
company in Malay Dumim called Clichere.
Clichere is like I meant to say store, like a chanut, like a
Yeah,
storefront
in
for
Malay
for.
Dumim.
Yeah, yeah, right next to our friend Rabbi Wendy, right down the street from his place.
Wait a second. Rabbi Wendy, he lives in
Yeah,
Spenavo, doesn't he?
Mali Adumim. He lives in Mali Adumim.
I know. It's in the neighborhood. In any case, Clichere is the name of a neighborhood in Malay Adumim.
Oh, okay. I think that's what he named his store.
Ah, that makes sense. To have
Yeah,
to have
yeah.
a store for musical instruments in the neighborhood named musical
Oh, is
instruments.
that what you're saying? Rabbi Wendy's suburb of his Mali Adumim is what the name that you gave?
I don't know
I didn't know
where,
that.
I don't know his address.
Yeah.
I know that he is the rabbi of a synagogue in the neighborhood called Mitzpenevo.
Okay,
But right
that's
next
correct.
to
Okay.
Mitzpenevo is Clay Shear. So there's Gitit Street, which is I think a guitar, and there's Mitziltime, which are cymbals,
Oh,
and
nice.
I
I
think
didn't realize.
Hatof, the drum.
Oh, I didn't realize that there was the sub names inside Mali Adumim. Okay, very good.
Yes,
So,
yes, yes,
so
yes.
Shlomi Cohen helped me get a bunch of instruments. I took them up to this interfaith group at the Swedish Theology Center. It was a really interesting place, kind of near Mea Shearim.
Right.
Yeah, and then we went up to Zarzir to a Bedouin middle school. We went up to Jish with the Aramaic Christians with our friend Shadi. We went to Tel Aviv. We were driving everywhere.
Wait a second. Who was your driver? Shlomi?
No, no, Shai Ben Harosh. He is in Rivava, and he was a young bacher here almost 6 years ago with Torah Mitzion. We've kept up all these years.
Oh, it's so wild.
It was so wild. And we pieced it all together and I rented a car. I'll tell you a really funny story. I got off at Ben Gurion Airport. I went to the car rental place with Shai after we davened Shacharis, and I said, well, I'd like to rent a car. And the lady, it was war and nothing was going on. She's like, do what? I was like, this is a car rental place. She's like, oh, we have a customer! Customer! Customer Hadash, go. I remember this. I remember you pay for things, right? I'm like, yeah, I pay to rent a car. They're like, oh, this is great. Oh my gosh. So for all Americans listening, please, you can march all you want, but please visit Israel and spend your money there and put your face and feet there and make sure you're giving to the economy. People are looking for work, and putting your feet on the ground is so important.
Visiting Israel by far is the most important thing you can do for Israel. But
Yeah.
let me squeeze in over here, and I think you know about this because I think that I invited you. I was talking to another friend of mine that I talk to from time to time, and he said, I was just with my kids. We went to, I don't even remember what he said. He said, but we like to try to do something for Israel at least once a week. So I said, that's a great idea because people, I can understand that people say, on the one hand, I love Israel and I feel for Israel, I want to do it. On the other hand, I do it with my own life, and then you get guilt feelings. I'm not doing Israel. How about you do once a week for Israel? You think, okay, what am I going to do? It'll take a half an hour,
Great idea.
maybe an hour, maybe half a day, but only once a week. It is an effort, but the people in Israel, the ones who are in the war, believe me, they're putting a lot more effort in,
Oh yeah.
and you can enjoy yourself also. So I made this Facebook group once a week for Israel. Pretty sure that's what they called it.
Wow.
And we had
I'll
about
share it right
150
away.
people. What's up?
Oh, you gotta get the word out. I wasn't aware. I'll look for your page and share it. That's a great idea. There's also and you know about this, like a dailygiving.com where you can everyone can give $1 a day, and they've been directing their funding to Israel. So if anybody wants to do
Yes,
something where they just give $1 a day and 100,000 people do it,
right. That's big money.
that's big money
Now you're
a
starting to
day.
talk big money, as they say.
Yeah. So that's good. Yeah, well, Israel once a week. Yeah. So I know a lot of people want to do something for Israel and they march and things, and I just haven't really been a proponent of the marching because I'm not exactly sure. But I know that like when I don't understand the end result of us marching in Memphis with an Israeli flag. I mean, I'd rather people spend their time and money planning the trip to Israel and getting on the plane. So that's been my opinion. That might be a little bit strong, but that's how I felt.
Except that evidently for some people that is just beyond their capability
Yeah.
of actually thinking of doing to go to Israel. Oh, isn't there a war zone? So they kind of, but to like march to hold a flag, that's already, oh, I'm doing something. Okay, it's
It is
something.
something. It is something. I would just hope that all of the American voices and Chutz Arts would really emphasize. I mean, we rented a car, we drove around Israel. It was fine. It really was fine. And I know that it's not perfectly safe. I'm not going to convey that message, but we went all over the country. I don't think there's one place we didn't go.
When you find a place that's perfectly safe, tell me.
Exactly. And I
When
say
you
that to people like if you're going to wait to go to Israel when it's safe, you're never going to visit, you know? I mean, there's just there yeah, I got to take a stand. So let's see so yeah, documentary I think will come out in a week or two and we hope it's really uplifting and presents Israel as a thriving country at the forefront of freedom for the whole world. Even against all odds when the world's just criticizing, like I said, like art critics just sitting there at their little fancy desks in the UN and saying Israel should do this or that. I mean, give me a break.
That's really amazing. How are you going to distribute or project, what is it called, to show this documentary?
Yeah, so it's going to be 5 minutes proof of concept. That means we've had enough money from funders to start proof of concept, and we're going to ship it out to all the film festivals and federations, and they're going to say either, yeah, we love it, we want to fund more of it, we want to see the 30-minute or 45-minute version, or
Wow.
they'll say, yeah, we'll pass. But I think they're going to enjoy it. It really is very heartwarming to see middle school Bedouin girls ask me if I know who Taylor Swift is, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm not sure. Like, do you know this Taylor Swift? I'm like, yeah, I kind of remember that name. You know, it's so cute. They're such cute kids, and the adults and everyone's sharing their
How do you
story.
say in Hebrew Super Bowl?
Super Bowl, Super Bowl. One. This is a funny story. I was playing guitar, and one of the girls raised her hand. She says, "This is the music of the rock star. Am I right?" And I said, "Yes, that's correct. That is me." And she says, "Well, I just wanted to say that rock is loud and very annoying." So I was in the limelight for 3 seconds until she knocked me down. It was so cute. They're great, great kids. And we put out chairs in Tel Aviv. I forgot which marketplace it was. It was like the fashion district of Tel Aviv. We put chairs out and I started playing and people would sit and I would explain Abulafia and give out Abulafia cards and they would interact with us with the xylophones and they'd say, yeah, I kind of forgot there was war for a minute there. I was like, see, that's what I'm going for. I want you to get a vacation even
Wow.
while you're here, you know?
That is amazing. That is just amazing.
It
Well,
was
I
great.
can't wait to see it.
I can't wait to show you. I'm going to try and get you a link, and I'm not exactly sure how public we can make it right now,
Right,
but
right, right, I'm
I'll
sure.
get you the link, and we're going to send it to the film festivals, and hopefully we'll get the 30-minute, 45-minute version out, and then we'll keep building. We'll keep, maybe they'll do an episode here in Memphis or other places.
Well, V'atzlacha rabba, much success in that. Sounds quite exciting.
Yeah, thank you.
And so wait a second, but that's remind me, that's not your full-time job creating that
No, no, no,
documentary.
no. I do financial planning for hospitals and universities.
Oh,
Yeah.
solidi.
What's that?
Solidi is the Hebrew word. Obviously, it's an English
Solid
word.
job?
No, no, just run. You know what your ma wanted you to do.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? In fact, I did music professionally for about 10 years, but I decided to really do the art exactly the way I wanted to. I needed to have a job, so I had no money pressure or outside pressure for my own
Wow.
creative work. So I did do music on my own for a long time in New York City, but I found that to have a family and to have my art to be really pure and not consider other factors, I would take a job, and I found a great job.
Very good. Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, anyway, how time flies when we're having fun because I have another
yes,
meeting coming up.
yes. Thank you for the time. I love it, Gidon.
Thank you, and we'll see you soon.
Let's do it again. Next month will be great.